Hello everyone, it's Oliver G here for the Earful Tower podcast. We're in the French Riviera again as part of this mini-series, and in this episode, I'm going to walk you through 10 places I think you should visit on the Côte d'Azur. The idea here is we've got a mix of sort of bigger places and famous places, and then some very small villages and one villa even. So you hear from me and my wife Lena. I want to stress before we begin, these are just my 10 suggestions based on a month of being there in April, but also visits over previous years. I'm by no means an expert like I am in Paris, but these are things that I've found and that I liked and that I think you will like. All the practical details and loads of beautiful photos and videos will be all over social media. Otherwise, check out the earfultower.com/Riviera for all this content, including the spellings of these 10 town names. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters who keep this show running. And over to you, Press Maxim, for some original music to get us started. Let's go to the French Riviera. So Lena.
Yes.
Are you feeling sunny?
Very.
Perfect, because we are about to take the listeners through 10 quick-fire places to visit.
It's going to be a whirlwind.
It is going to be a whirlwind. And I think we just get straight into it with the place that we spent the whole month that we were there.
Yeah. Our QG.
Our QG.
Our Quartier Général. Our headquarters.
Already we're giving people a little tip. QG. If you say QG when you're in France, it means like your HQ, and it's guaranteed to elicit a smile.
Definitely.
From a taxi driver or a cafe owner. You go into a cafe,
especially if you don't speak French amazingly well.
That's the
like
whole point.
Me.
Yeah.
If I just drop a QG.
Yeah, you said this is going to be my QG for the week.
They're
QG.
Yeah.
And ours was Antibes. We talked about it briefly in a previous episode, but we based ourselves there for a month, and I want to start talking about that.
Yeah.
I think it's underrated still. Even though it's an ancient fishing village, I think a lot of people go down heading for Nice and Cannes.
Yeah, the big hits.
Marseille even. When you say Antibes to someone, or Antibes as we say in English sometimes, there's a sparkle in their eyes if they know about it. Have you noticed?
A glittering like the water.
Yes. It happened to me the other day with a downstairs neighbour. He said he's going down south for the summer, and I said, where? And he said Antibes. And I felt my own eyes glitter.
Oh.
And then he said, well, nearby. And I said, Juan-Les-Pins. And he goes, yes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Antibes, it's, as we mentioned, it's got the best of everything. So it's got that old-timey, ancient ramparts and fortress out there.
Yeah.
So
but it's still got a pulse. It's not dead.
Yes. There are some places like Carcassonne that we visited. No pulse.
Not much.
But I loved it for the ancient history.
Yeah.
Whereas this place, you can walk along the ramparts all the way out to that fortress while passing the super yachts of the rich and famous. New money. You know, like there's actors
I feel like
and
it's such a mix. That's what I like. It's such a mix of the old and the new and the luxury and the everyday. It's really quite special.
And I want to focus on this town a bit because we spent the longest time here before we jump into other places. There are lots of fun things to do if you just crane your neck and try. So, for example, in that old town, there's this absinthe bar. And we'd heard rumors of it when we came there. You go downstairs into the bar.
Yeah, it's a small little stone staircase leading down, and it's very tiny. You go through a little souvenir shop. Yeah, it's like a little gift shop. It's kind of like a speakeasy.
It is.
I guess it is a bit.
They should market it like that, actually.
Yeah.
And then you go down, and they have 100 hats, 200 hats, caps, fedoras, whatever. You put it on, there's live music. It fills up, like really fills up. So get there early. And you sing along with the musician, the accordionist, the pianist.
While sipping your absinthe.
Yes. So even if you think you don't like any of those things above, like absinthe, crowded places.
Hats. Even. Like our son, he hates them.
You will like this place. It's got a real charm.
Yeah.
It felt that way. We went there twice, I think.
The live music. I really liked it.
And a second shout out to Nomad's Coffee Shop. where that was our QG. Really nice, like a modern coffee
I
shop.
think we went there daily almost.
Pretty much. Well, we did what we talked about in that recent episode, where it's like you befriend the people straight up.
Yeah, and you're like, we're here for a month. We're going to come in every day.
Here's my order, memorize it. No, I'm just kidding. No. The goal is that they memorize your order. Always have the same thing. But also, lots of charming shops, markets.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels, I'd be really curious to do a survey of 100 listeners if they've heard of Antibes before, to see where it rates along with Nice and Monaco and so on.
No, it's really lovely. It's got a bunch of museums. The Picasso Museum is there.
Yes.
Like perched on top in like a connection with the ramparts.
Me and Baxter talked a little bit about that one.
That's right.
Lots of ceramics in there, which, I don't know. I didn't go crazy for the ceramics.
No.
What did you think?
No, I guess not. I mean, it felt like I was in a sort of a shop almost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, an interior shop. But, it's cool.
I think if you're a Picasso fan and you come into France, go to the one in the Marais over this one.
Yeah.
But if you're a Picasso fan, you're going to make the pilgrimage anyway. Also, just I think the trick is with this town, I can sense in the summer it'd be really busy. So do the early mornings. There's a beach. It's not much to speak about. There's lots of little restaurants.
Yeah, the beach is quite small.
Yeah.
I think if you want a beach, you go to the next town, Juan-Les-Pins.
Perfect lead-in.
Because they're connected, and that's the place with the sandy beaches. It's like a long stretch of them. You
know what I'd say this town that you mentioned has in common with Rue Montorgueil in Paris?
No.
Hard to pronounce. It's spelt Juan, like Juan in Spanish, and then Les, and then Pins, Pins.
Les Pins.
And I remember we said it to a taxi driver or something, and he thought we were talking about rabbit because of lapin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think it's Juan-Les-Pins. Juan-Les-Pins. It features in that song, Where Do You Go To, My Lovely? Remember that?
Yeah. Isn't that song a little bit creepy?
Yeah, it's a creepy song, yeah.
Juan-Les-Pins. But there's also something nice about it.
Yeah, it's charming.
I'm contradicted.
But this, Lena's taken us to the town over from Antibes, and I would like to recommend walking there the long way.
Oh, yes.
The Cap d'Antibes.
Definitely.
So we were there for a month, and we kept meaning to do it, and I wish we'd done it sooner and more often.
Yeah, I could have done it over and over, really.
It was really spectacular, craggy rocks. Like you walk sometimes.
They look sharp.
It's not
shooting out of the ground. It's like a moon landscape.
If you struggle to walk for whatever reason, it's it's not a Via Ferrata rock climbing, but
but lots of stairs, and it's not super smooth sailing.
I slipped once.
You did,
I had slippery shoes.
Yeah.
Can't recommend that. You shouldn't have slippery shoes anyway. No. But the walk, it's hard to explain. It's like you know what it reminds me of with the mouton, the sheep. You know what they call it in French? They call it mouton, where the top of the water has little white bits on it. It looks like sheep out there. I don't know what you call it in English, but it looks like one of those.
We call it geese
in Swedish.
Yeah,
geese on the water.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Det går yes.
Det
går yes. There are geese walking. Weird. On the water.
In any case, it looked like one of those impressionist paintings from the west of France.
Yeah, so the sea is just it comes crashing in to hit those like craggy rocks, and sometimes it's really, really high up, and sometimes you're right next to the water, and it's very special.
Meanwhile, if you go the way that we did from Antibes, on your right-hand side, the coastal side, mansions. I'm talking some serious moolah here, mansions. This is where I'm imagining, not even like the Leonardo DiCaprio's.
What language is that?
I'm talking about the, tech billionaires are up there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can sometimes glimpse their houses through the walk as you go.
Through the dense bushes.
Yeah. So that's a highly recommended. Put half a day aside for that, and then you have two options. I don't know.
Bring a picnic?
No.
No.
Because, why not? Bring an apple. But there are restaurants too. I think we didn't walk all the way to the next town, but you can go up to the top where there's a lighthouse. There was a film, I wish I could remember, but a film we watched was up there. It might have been like Brigitte Bardot or something.
Yeah, it might have been that one.
But in any case, or a Bond. Could have been a Bond.
Yeah.
Because there was a Bond filmed in Antibes, that fortress. Can't remember which one. I'm not here for a Bond session. But there's little restaurants at the top that are worth it. I mean...
Definitely. Good seafood.
It's always dangerous to recommend restaurants and food, but the view is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you want to go down into this place, Juan-Les-Pins. And Baxter and I talked about it last week. Mm-hmm. I want to do a special shout out. If you're going to splash out, go to the Belle Rive, the Hotel Belle Rive. Not even to stay, just to have a cocktail.
And my recommendation is to sit on the veranda, because that's where the magic happens, I think.
Well, you're good at describing things.
Oh,
what's so special
you.
about this terrace, this veranda?
Well, you sit on the veranda, and in front of you is just like this panoramic view over the sea and the beaches. And the veranda itself is really quite big. Lots of tables, parasols, plants. It just feels like... It feels like you're in a movie. You feel like a movie star sitting there.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
And they do... like the cocktails, there's themed cocktails. You can get the Fitzgerald and the Zelda and all.
Yeah, it's very cute.
They
like
were
that,
based there.
yeah.
I think they also lived next door. There was a sign next to the building. But no,
it's classic stuff.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
And those parasols, blue and white, with the geese out there on the water, just look fantastic. So you must go there, and it will be a splash out if you're on a budget, but it's worth it.
It is.
We went there at the end of our photography session with Augusta.
Yeah, we have some beautiful pictures.
Lovely. But in terms of the town itself, interesting vibe, because it's like, I think it's worth a visit, a day. Mm-hmm. It's got this Art Deco theme, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Felt like, neither of us have been to Miami.
But we've seen enough movies.
I think everyone feels like they've been to Miami.
I've seen Miami Vice, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
It's got that vibe, doesn't it? It's the big letters.
Yeah.
I guess 1920s is what we're talking about here. And
it's a little like Gatsby-esque kind of.
Of course,
yes. If you're thinking about the Baz Luhrmann Gatsby, it's very that aesthetic.
I mean, Gatsby is written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, so we're back to F. Scott again.
Yes, he's the theme.
Think here though, when we're talking about this town, is you want to think sitting literally on the beach to eat. That's what you can do really easily. The beaches are really long and pretty splendid here, and it's famous throughout the year. Lots of things go on there. Jazz festivals, a lot of music.
I feel like there was a bit of a Vegas strip almost. They had some casino and lots of things. You sit outside, there's music, there's live music. And
that strip had the big palm trees as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny when you, some towns like this one have such a clear main drag. And especially older villages in the Riviera, some of that we're going to talk about, any one of them could be the main drag, but this one was clear. Yeah. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, we've arrived. This is
exactly. And it's leading down to the water, it's clear.
So, Juan-Les-Pins. Good luck pronouncing it, but just get there. Now, here's the elephant in the room. Now, when we're talking about this, everything we're going to talk about is between Cannes and the Italian border. So we're not going to Marseille on this trip, even though it's a lovely place. Nice is the big...
Nice, but of course.
Yep. There were a few comments about something we missed in the previous episode. You can take a direct train from Paris to Nice. So that's a good way to do it if you don't want... Because people commented on that. We talked about the slow train.
Oh.
So you don't need to do it that way.
Oh, okay. Well, what did we book then?
Well, we did it so that we could get straight to Antibes without changing.
Ah, that's right.
But
okay.
There's a good reason to shout out to the commenters on the Earful Tower Facebook, Instagram.
Knowledgeable bunch.
Always.
Yep.
Yeah. But Nice, look, this is a tough one to talk about. It should really be an episode or a whole series because there's a lot going on.
It's a big city.
I have a story I've never told, at least not on the Earful Tower, is I've got trauma from Nice.
Really?
Yeah. When I was young and stupid, foolish, I thought, when I was backpacking around Europe, I thought this is great in Europe because you can get on a train or a tram without buying a ticket. And the only time you need a ticket is if they're going to check. And what are the chances of that?
Okay.
And that served me really
took
well.
your chances.
Oh, it served me well throughout the whole of Europe until I got to Nice.
Yeah.
And the train ticket collectors ambushed me. And it was serious. It's a story I'll tell another time. It was ugly.
Traumatic?
Oh, yeah. I always get nervous with train tickets ever since. And this is like, gosh, it's like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But...
It put the fear of God into you.
Oh, yeah. But Nice, look, go a couple days. We've been down there a few times in our Paris lives. And look, things you must do. All we can really do is gloss over it, but you have to visit.
Yeah, it's a must.
No trip to France is really complete without it, I think.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Definitely.
I'd say Provence, Nice, and Paris. The big three.
The big three.
Yeah, but look, do the
I
big
agree.
Promenade des Anglais out to the Negresco Hotel. You were a big fan of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm a big fan.
You're always
really?
talking about it when we go down there. Got to go to the Negresco.
No.
Well, we had a coffee there, to be fair.
We did, yeah. It's beautiful. It's an old lady.
It's the old lady of Nice. It's kind of as far as you should walk on that promenade before turning back and coming into the town. And on the other side...
Yeah, there's not much going on after, really.
And I think for people, especially Australians, maybe Americans, who are used to big sandy beaches, bad news for you.
This is all rock.
Yeah, rock's the size of your fist almost.
Yeah, but it's smooth.
Smooth.
Like, really smooth. But it's kind of hard to walk on.
I don't, as an Australian,
Yeah.
don't see the charm. Like walking down barefoot into the water and having to
Slip and slide?
try and catch your balance all the time. And not that comfortable to lie on.
But all of it's glamorous.
You know what? I don't want to sound like a negative Norman here, but I was going to say the other option is you rent one of those sunbeds. And where
do that.
where they fence it off and you pay however much and you sit on a
they're often
sunbed.
connected to some sort of restaurant.
Yeah, they bring you pina coladas or whatever.
Yeah, not bad.
Don't see the charm in that.
No, I don't think I've ever done it.
No, but
I'm not at all that kind of person who do that. But, I mean, why not?
I think as an Australian, I'm spoiled for beaches, maybe.
I think
And the idea
so.
of paying for a sun lounge or sitting on rocks, that doesn't cut it. But it is beautiful. And if you're not even a beach person, and you walk all the way to the other side from the Negresco Hotel and climb to the top of that overlook,
Yeah.
one of the best views. I mean, I've used the picture already on the website. One of the best, most beautiful views of all the water and the colourful Nice. Just the town, something we
Looks
haven't
like
really
a
talked
little
about.
citrus fruit salad down there.
Oh, that's very good. I
Yeah.
like that. And when we're looking through Augusta's pictures, so all these towns we're talking about so far, we visited with Augusta Sagnelli, who takes the beautiful pictures.
That's
The
right.
colour really popped here. And
Yeah.
you were wearing really beautiful blue and white trousers.
Yeah, so they kind of looked like the foam in the sea and the sky. Yep, very matchy-matchy.
If you're into culture as well, there's museums, the amount of famous people, creatives, writers, painters that spend
Lots of
time in Nice,
history.
it's endless. It's endless. There's museums for Chagall, there's Matisse stuff there too.
Yep.
Chekhov
Chekhov
was
even.
writing down there. I mean, they're all done, especially Russians too. There's
Big
all-
Russian connection.
Yeah, I mean, there still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look,
Well, most of the super yachts, or a lot of them.
switching tune, we've been talking about some bigger places. I'm sure there's people at home saying, give us some smaller towns, Oliver and Lena.
Yes.
We got you.
Let's go small.
Let's go to La Turbie.
La Turbie.
La Turbie. What you need to know about this town, it's good to connect it with Monaco, which I've got further down the list, but I'll push that up, I think, because the two
So
go
we're kind
nicely.
of continuing along the coastline here.
Yeah, heading east.
Yeah.
And if you want to add something to your Monaco trip, which we'll get into next, go inland to La Turbie, Turbie, and
On the map, it's just like a centimeter away from the coast.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically overlooking Monaco. So it's on a hilltop.
But
Monaco is surrounded by hills.
Yeah.
Like it's in a little. What do you call it?
it's, I don't know, like an inlet down there. But we're going to call it Turbie.
Yes, we are.
Winding roads to get up and down. Dangerous winding roads. That's where Princess Grace Kelly
Yeah.
That's where she was in a car accident and died up there.
In La Turbie.
Yeah, just nearby. The street was called La Turbie, I think. And she, so she died up there. But the town itself, we won't talk about that. There's 2 reasons to visit. Tiny, tiny little medieval town. We briefly mentioned it last time. It's the kind of place where you, I don't know, it's a movie set. Feels like a movie set where one of those charming little French countryside.
Yeah, it's like the houses are sort of built on top of each other and also connected to stony walls. It feels like it just...
A little cat sitting out the front
Exactly.
with some old grandma watering her roses or something. Not the kind of place where...
Very picturesque.
I don't think you should even aim to stay there or eat there or anything. It's just to walk through and appreciate it.
When we were there, everything was closed even. It was, I think or lunchtime. It was,
Yeah, but it didn't matter. It made it even better.
Yeah, because we had it to ourselves.
And beautiful little intriguing shaped doorways and windows. And if you're listening to this and saying, oh, I don't care, I want ancient history. Well, I've got good news for you. Right next to it is the... remnants, I guess. It's not just remnants, it's pretty well intact.
Considering the age.
Yes, and the age is 2,029 years old. We're talking about La Trophy, the trophy that Augustus had built for his victories in the area.
And this is the emperor we're talking about.
Emperor Augustus, not Philip August and his war.
No.
Imagine this is almost 3 times as old as that.
Wow, that's crazy to think.
Yeah, and you go in, it was like $10 or something to get a ticket. You can walk up the stairs right to the top of the remnants of this. Literally, it's called a trophy. Like, it's kind of like the Arc de Triomphe. Similar vibe. It's not an arch, but it's...
I mean, a trophy, you might think is something you can hold in your hand, but this is, it's a construction, it's a building.
And they've got a little room there that shows what it would have looked like, and it kind of reminds me of the Pantheon in Paris. So it would have had columns all the way around it, but...
Very Roman.
Yeah, of course.
Which makes sense.
But go up there, go to the top, and you just get this splendid view down over everything, including Monaco and everything. And worth a visit.
Definitely.
Even if just for an hour. Add that to your list. Let's skip ahead to Monaco now.
Okay.
Because I said last time, controversially, that Monaco and Cannes...
that you don't care for them?
I think that's what I said.
Oh my goodness.
I got comments. Whenever I go out on a limb like that, I get comments. But
How dare you?
I want to add a caveat to it. The Monaco, it's too luxurious.
It's very polished.
Yeah, too polished for me. I like a bit of rugged charm.
Antibes.
Yeah, give me some Antibes. but I mean, look, lovely big yachts, fancy shops. The casino, which we never managed to actually get into, gamble at.
No. Which might have been a good thing.
Yeah, but you can get in the sort of lobby. I think because we kept timing it wrong.
Yeah.
We went there twice in the morning, and I really wanted to get in there and have a good old look around, but it just didn't happen. So maybe I'm a bit bitter about that. I don't know. But
you feel rejected.
But I mean, just like these fancy Lamborghinis and Porsches, that's not my world. So I don't like, it doesn't feel real to me.
No, it's this is like high glamour.
Yeah, but what did you say the other time? You said you got to embrace a bit of the luxury. Is that what you said?
Yeah, just soak it up. Even if you don't have to pay the price tag. You can just be there as a spectator. It's kind of like a show all around you.
You're right. And I think the caveat that I wanted to add, which we didn't mention at all, and I think it's crucial to say this, is that there's also the old town, old Monaco,
which is very charming,
which I loved.
Also very polished.
Yeah, but that goes down as one of the great hours in France. You know, I should make a list.
Hours.
Yeah. I'm thinking about making a list of the great walks of Paris. And, not just the basic ones, but, like the Couleuvert and stuff like this. This is one of the great hours you can spend.
So
definitely. You go up to the top, it's like hilltop. You got to get up there. You can walk or you can drive. And then it is polished. It's perfect. But it's... Every angle is beautiful.
You got the views over the ocean. I mean, you got that botanical garden that's named after Grace Kelly.
Yes, that was lovely too.
Yeah, you got the palace up there.
The Princess Palace.
The Princess Palace. Yeah.
What do they call it? The old, the Monaco Rock, the Rock of Monaco, something like that. You're sort of extended above the world for a little bit, looking around on not a piece of trash is there.
No, it's so clean. It's like a little bubble of perfection. It's like Princess Diaries, Have you seen that movie?
Princess Diaries? No.
Yeah, is it the one with Anne Hathaway?
I don't think I've seen it.
Anyways.
Should I watch that before revisiting?
Me and my recommendations, all from when I was 15, whatever.
No, but there's, I'm just looking at some of the pictures that we got up there, and look, you can't go wrong up there. You must.
You got royalties.
Yeah.
This is.
You got to make sure that
this
you
is
really,
old Europe.
Yeah. Yes. Really walk around the edges too and look down. Just some like that little park you mentioned. It extends right up among the houses, and you can look down into all the boats that are moored there. Picturesque perfection.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. One of the great hours in France, I'd say. But you don't need more than an hour.
No.
Just get in there and get out. Let's go to.
We didn't even touch on the car racing.
No.
Not at all.
No. Yeah,
but that's cool.
I mentioned Lamborghinis. I feel that'll do.
That's fine.
Okay, back towards Antibes for this next one. This is the only one of the list, I think, so far that we didn't bring Augusta to, but we got a nice picture ourselves. Biot. Biot. This is for you guys who've seen all the main sites.
Don't care about the beaches.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is inland.
Yes.
Inland?
Inland. Both will work.
Inland.
And you're coming up from Antibes to a small, beautiful village. Biot. Biot. You do pronounce the T. Usually they say you don't pronounce the final letter of French words.
Yeah, this
Wrong.
is not bio.
I found out that the hard way. Biot. And it's a little fortress in there. You can get up and get a good view of everything as usual. But really, just charming, this town.
It's like quintessential southern France village with little squares, little restaurants. It's the colorful stone houses. It's very charming.
A lot of people go there for its renowned Cubist art museum of Fernand Léger. We didn't do that. We just went for the little village. It was the kind of place where I found myself.
We had lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found myself talking to like several. This is what I like about a French village is when the locals are happy to chat. So you walk past, they say bonjour, ça va, and then you just get talking. I could move there.
Yeah.
You just feel like welcome.
You thrive.
Yeah, I do. That's the amount of times that you guys, I lost you because I got talking to some old guy. But it was you just felt like you wanted to stay. We got the same vibe when you and I were in Annecy.
That's right.
On the honeymoon trip.
Yeah.
Do you remember we booked a hotel? We walked out of the hotel room literally for like 2 minutes and then walked back in again and said, can we have another night? This place it's got the right vibe. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago, by the way.
5 years.
So, Biot, there's another hour town. Get it done in an hour, but there's a smaller recommendation. Let's go on to another controversy here.
Can do.
Cannot
you got
do
a
it.
can-do attitude.
No.
Cannot.
I wanted to do, and I still might do an episode about the film festival, which is what it's really famous for. Some past guests on this show have been there for it. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit. But in terms of the town, this is where you were of the mindset of embracing the luxury.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge shopper myself. I felt like a lot of it were these high-end shops that I wasn't super interested in.
There's also the beach strip.
I was going to say the beach strip was that was great.
Yeah.
But if you're just going somewhere for a beach strip, you've got a million of them around.
Yeah, and it's quite... I don't know if I would go there over like Juan-Les-Pins or even Nice. I'm not sure.
Cannes is quite big.
Yeah.
So I think it loses the charm. I think if you're on a shopping trip, if you're on a big budget, go there.
Definitely.
But especially if you're on a budget, forget it. But also, like, if you're not into shopping, if you're not into fancy yachts and stuff, even if you're into the film festival, you probably won't see much there. Like we said on the other episode, the red carpet was just like a piece of red carpet leading up into a building that's not going to be open for you.
Oh, it's crazy to see. I mean, there's a queue for this red carpet. It's just a carpet. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The influence.
I think, in all seriousness, I'm always honest with these kind of things. I'd say skip it if you match the criteria that I've just said.
Yeah, I mean,
But I am interested in the film festival, and I'd love to know more about that. And I bet that the time that's on is a energetic and exciting time to be there.
Yeah, I'm sure the city lives for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, if someone were to message me and say, "I've got a super yacht, let me change your mind about Cannes, Oliver," I would be on the next. I'd get the next ticket.
You can be bought.
Yeah, of course I can. Hint, everybody, with super yachts. Do you have anything positive to add about Cannes?
Good ice cream
Yeah, there you go.
on the beach strip.
The next one is a 2-for-1, and it's the town or the area nearby where I really want to talk about is called Beaulieu-sur-Mer. Hard to pronounce the word. Beaulieu-sur-Mer. Which is another one of these really charming small towns.
Old fishing village.
On like a peninsula, so you have to get off the main road to get there a little bit. But what I really want to focus on is if you ever make it there, there's a place called the Villa Kerylos. Kerylos. And this was drop dead, gorgeous, spectacular, stunning, gobsmacking.
Definitely a highlight of the whole trip for me.
And we were with some people who'd been there before us, and on the day that they went, they said, we sort of bowed out at the last second, and then they came home and said, go there tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no option. You just have to do it.
And then someone said mosaics as well. And I'm a big fan of mosaics, especially in Paris, lobbies. And this place is all mosaics. But I've got the history. I mean, I know some people want to know the full story. The history is a very wealthy family in the early 1900s. I've got the guy's name, Theodore Reinach, maybe. And get this. A French archaeologist, mathematician, lawyer, papyrologist, philologist, epigrapher, historian, musicologist, professor, and politician.
He's a man with a lot of ists.
Yeah, too many hats.
Yeah.
Too many hats. So this guy, he's an academic. He got some architects to build this villa in the style
Influential fella,
yeah,
I assume.
Man. Oh, man. He got the architects to build it in the style of a Greek/Pompeii villa. So you imagine Pompeii if you've been there. Have you been to Pompeii?
No, I haven't.
So Pompeii, it's preserved, but it's 2,000 years old, and it's not anywhere near what this is because this was built 100 years ago.
So it's new.
So it's like a new Pompeii palace kind of thing. And you go in there, and you're just transported to ancient Greece, but with a 100-year-old look. So a polished ancient Greece in this villa,
so stunning,
right by the water. And we went there sort of with this good recommendation, and we were floored. We just went through every room.
And there's a little bit of a garden as well. You can wander around. It's,
The history of the place, you mentioned before we recorded about the sad history. I looked it up now. So this guy died in the 1920s. He bequeathed it to his family. And it was his son and wife and their kids were taken by the Nazis and murdered in Auschwitz. So, like, horrible end to that story.
Sad.
The Nazis took over the villa, actually, right?
Yeah.
So, then what happened is they had surviving family who lived there until the 60s, 70s, I think, and then they bequeathed it to France. So now it's a museum that you can visit. And it's weird because I had such flashbacks to the museum in Paris, the Nissim de Camondo.
Also sad story.
Guess what? Same family.
Really?
Yeah, so I might get this a little wrong, but the daughter that was killed was
in Kerylos?
Yeah. Her dad was Camondo. I'm almost certain about that. If not, I missed a generation or was a husband or a wife, whatever. But like direct family, which had the same ending, which is why maybe I connected them as well. So,
wow.
Both, if you're in Paris, must see the Nissim de Camondo, but the same wealth,
both
same families.
Beautiful museums and old residencies, but oh my gosh.
So the Augusta came with us to this place. Another incredible hour. That's right up there for me. If you've got wheels, you cannot miss that villa.
It's so beautiful.
Get wheels. That was golden rule number 3, I think.
Exactly.
That leaves us with 2 more that we can gloss over quite quickly, I think, because I got a bit excited in Antibes at the start. But Villefranche-sur-Mer, this is just one of those really colourful on the waterside.
Really small.
Yeah. You could do it in an hour as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably mostly known for one of its tiny little chapel.
Yes, that will be the Chapelle Saint-Pierre, St. Peter's Chapel.
And why is this so special, you might
Jean
wonder?
Cocteau, the artist, he did his murals on the inside depicting the life of the local fishermen. Still a fishing community.
It is, and this place is really stunning. It's very small. It's just like a small room.
You're talking about the chapel?
The chapel, yeah.
Well, I got a bone to pick with this chapel. Because when we went in there, we were taking pictures and filming and stuff like this. And we went in and I said, hey, do you mind if we take pictures while we're in here? She said, no. And I said, that's fine. I'd just like to see it. And she says the price of it, which was really cheap. And I said, great, can I pay by card? She said, no, just cash. And I was like, well, I don't have any cash. And she said, well, you can't come in. And I was like, I'm already in.
Yeah, we could see, I mean, from the entrance, you could see the whole thing.
Yeah. So I just looked at the wall and said, I've seen it. But I've always, people who refuse, it's like the taxi drivers in Paris.
Yeah.
You can't refuse card. You just can't anymore. So we didn't pay to get in, and I felt maybe it wasn't...
You feel like you stole with your eyes?
But come on, I don't know. I also feel like maybe those places should be free, I don't know, rather than €2 entry. But look, if anyone goes back there and finds themselves inside, leave a donation from me. You don't have to become a Patreon member if you do that. Otherwise, I can highly encourage patreon.com/the Earful Tower for loads of extras. But Villefranche-sur-Mer, just one of those gorgeous towns. Also feels like a movie. When we saw that God Created Woman or Women with Brigitte Bardot, I suspected that it was filmed there until I realized it was in Saint-Tropez. So it's a really similar...
But they all kind of look very similar, these little villages.
I could sense, as if we've not mentioned, we were there in the month of April and it wasn't overrun with tourists, but I can predict that if you're there in June, July, you want to get there early.
You won't be alone.
Yeah. Those restaurants looked geared for lots of people.
Definitely.
But as always, get there early, get there late, and try not to traipse around at 12 o'clock midday with all the other tourists in the heat. Let's finish on Ez. The other place that we didn't go with Augusta, but we got lots of our own pictures. And it's another really tiny village, but this time a hilltop. And I mean really hilltop.
Oh, yeah. It's high up. It's like I think people describe it as a little bit of an eagle's nest.
That's a good description. And the view, it's one of those ones where it's really panoramic. You feel way higher than everything. And you're looking down on this Côte d'Azur, this turquoise, this blue water. Make sure you go into that garden, the botanical garden, I think it might be called. You can't miss it. There's a little path at the top. You have to pay 10, 15 euros, something like that, to get in. But
I think it's worth it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it.
You don't want to miss it. 100%. That's kind of like the highlight of the whole village.
It'd be crazy to get there without... But inside
the village itself is really sweet. It's kind of what I picture an elfin village to look like.
Like elves. Yeah, well, there are on these, I think, terracotta statues up there in the gardens, which is full of like cactus and these unusual plants up there. And if you got a good eye for composition, you could take pictures with these statues and cactuses with cacti, I guess. That might be a case where you can say cactuses if it's different species of cactus. Who cares?
Okay, you're getting nerdy now.
I'll get a letter about it.
Yeah, probably.
Address all grammar questions to @Parisian Postcards on Instagram. Thanks, Lena. But get up there. I think I had cactus sorbet up there once.
Yeah.
Once upon a time. That was somewhere nearby. But yeah, go and see the gardens or just wander through the villages. But once again, get there early. But look.
And put on your walking shoes because it's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah. And all those people out there who love language, we've probably got their ears pricked up at the moment. I like that because it's a palindrome.
Yeah.
E-Z-E. E-Z-E for all you Americans
do
out there.
not pronounce the last E. Eze.
So there you go. There's a list of 10. I'm going to write a blog post. Once again, if you're listening to this in the future, the earfultower.com/Riviera will be all the stuff that we've talked about over the past couple of weeks. But there are sort of 10 tips to get you started, some of our favorite places. We visited them all, and these are ones that we purposely came back to, either with Augusta or with friends or family because we liked them so much. To finish, we've surely missed some things. Feel free to send them in because I feel that my days of exploring the Riviera are not over. Otherwise, there's a chance of another Riviera episode next week, or we'll get back to Paris. I've been really overwhelmed, inundated with the positive comments. How about you?
Yeah. And it's really cool. I got a few messages. People have been inspired to book to actually book trips,
I had some
which
of them
is
as well.
great.
I had some people say that they decided to go to the Riviera this summer.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Wonderful.
Love to hear that.
They will enjoy it, I'm
Let
sure.
us know what you think. Tag us in pictures of some of the places that we mentioned. It's really fun for us. There was a time when we did the honeymoon season. I've talked about this before, but this is 5 years ago. As soon as we left Paris, so people panicked. So people who want Paris
what
every
about
week.
Paris?
There was one comment that said, "Love the Riviera content. Please don't forget Paris." That was as soon as we did the first episode.
Yeah.
So I know people have this, like they don't want to let it go. But we're here to gently encourage you to expand your horizons in this beautiful country.
Just a little bit.
Because also that means we feel comfortable with expanding our horizons and sharing
But
other
also,
stuff.
I think it adds, you got to stay excited. So it's great.
And if you want us to stay excited for Paris, allow us to go down there. Don't shy away from the rest of France. We don't, and we love it, and that's what French people do too. So on that note, we'll be back with another episode of the Riviera or back to Paris next week. I'll be judging by the comments and the shares, and keep an eye on social media for me at the Earful Tower for lots of... I mean, this is where I'm really going to go crazy with the content this week. At Parisian Postcards on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll be sharing.
And I think Augusta Sagnelli, who I'll be tagging below, has shared a few pictures too. So if you want a bit of Riviera overdose...
And actually see with your eyeballs, steal some with your eyeballs.
Yeah, stealing with the eyeballs. Like we didn't get a picture of that cocktail
No,
chapel.
we didn't even
but
have time. Anyways, if you want to see it, it's there.
a thanks, as usual, to all the Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/The Earful Tower. Those of you who filled out their surveys for the Press Maxim CD for free. I've ordered just enough for you guys and just a few extras because I know there's always someone who forgets to answer surveys. I received my copies yesterday and they're
looking
great.
good.
They're great. With a picture by Augusta Sagnelli on the cover, and that ties everything together. Press, I'm going to hand it over to you now to take us away to the Riviera with some of your original music. Merci beaucoup, everybody.
Merci.
And au revoir.